All right, these are your acid notes, how to name and write formulas for acids. Okay, acids form hydrogen ions in water. Formulas usually begin with H, but for you guys, you can just assume that all of your formulas will begin with H. I'm not going to give you any that don't start with H. So when you're trying to distinguish them from your covalent or ionic compounds, just know that your acids will always start with H. So that should be an easy way to pick them out. Here are some examples. All of these start with hydrogen. So if your formula starts with hydrogen, you're going to assume it's an acid. That's obviously not true for everything. Water, for instance, starts with an H and it's not an acid, but that is just an easy way for you guys to distinguish them, and it's fine for now. You're going to want to write this whole thing down. Okay, this is what you're going to use as you're naming them. Okay, so you're going to need to know that if it ends in "ide," you do hydro, stem word, ic acid, ate, stem ic, ate goes to ic, ite goes to os, basically, is how we learn that. So write these down, and then as I go through the examples, you can look back at these, all right? But write all of this down for sure. This is up to you. If you would like to write this down, it may help. It's just another way to determine what kind of ending it needs and how you write the name. It helps some people. It doesn't help others. So completely up to you. If you think this would help you, then you can stick it in your notes. All right, so let's do a couple. That's the laser pointer. I need a pen. Oh, that's it. Okay. So first one, HBr. First of all, I know it's an acid because it starts with H, so that's going to make me use my acid rules. All right. So you kind of ignore the H after you have determined it's an acid, and you really only look at this second part. So that's Br, which is bromide, right? Bromide is changed to IED when it's in a compound. And so based on those rules that you wrote down, you can look back at those. Ide gets hydro in the front, so you would do hydro. And I'm going right off of those rules on the previous slide. You can look back at those. Hydro. And then bromide, you take the root word, bromide, and then it's bromic. So hydro in the front, ic on the end. All right? Hydrobromic acid. Now, not all acids are going to start with hydro. That's a common misconception. And when people start doing these, they want to kind of put hydro in front of everything. They don't all get hydro. Only the ones that end in IDE get hydro as a prefix. Okay, so this one, for example, CO3 is carbonate. Carbonate ends in ATE. 8 goes to ic. So we would change carbonate to carbonic acid. 8 goes to ic. If you don't know that this is carbonate, you go look it up on your periodic table. You go look it up on your polyatomic ion sheet, and CO3 is on there, and it is carbonate. All right, for this one, SO3 is sulfite with an ITE. Don't confuse it with SO4, which is sulfate with an ATE. Sulfite ends in ITE, and if you look back at those rules, we change those to OUS. And actually, I misspelled that. It really should be, I believe it's spelled like this. And I'm not going to count off for spelling. As long as I know that you took your ITE and you changed it to OUS, you'll be fine. Don't forget to write acid at the end of it, though. Okay, so that is one example of each. Okay. Now, when you're given the name and you're writing the formula, we know acids, it says acid, right? So we know it's an acid, we're going to go ahead and write an H, okay? We're going to need the fact that H has a +1 charge, okay? You got to pull out the root word here. So it starts with hydro. That means it must end in IDE. And here's your root word here. So the ic also changed. So we want to change it back. So the hydrofluoric must have been fluoride. Okay, again, you can look back at those rules to see where that came from. All right, once you get your two charges, these are both 1, they're going to crisscross down just like the ionic ones did. So just like the ionic ones, you would just have H, F. Okay. For this one, there's no hydro on the front, right? There's nothing here like there was here. That means that this one did not come off the periodic table. You're going to need to look for this guy on your polyatomic ion sheet. Now, it ends in ic. That means it used to be 8. So this is sulfate. This used to be sulfate. So you go look up sulfate, and it's SO4 with a -2 charge. Now, because it's an acid, we know it starts with H. They all do, right? All our acids are going to start with an H. So crisscross these down, just like we did before. And your answer, the 2 will come down here. So I'm going to put it here, right? And then the 1 comes down here, so SO4. The good thing about acids is you'll never need to put your polyatomic ions in parentheses because they're only ever going to get that 1 from hydrogen. So you will never need parentheses with acids. Okay, no hydro. That means this came off the polyatomic ion sheet. It ends in OUS. That means it used to end in ITE. So it was nitrite, not nitrate, nitrite, NO2. Starts with H. All acids do. Crisscross those down. And this would be the answer.